Welcome back, everyone. Today we are back with. I just colored in all the territories. Also, by the way, Belarus joined Russia. So yeah, here's all the colored in territories. We are back with part two of the series. Also, by the way, yes, this looks absolutely horrendous. No, I do not care. Okay, I kind of care, but I don't care as well. Anyway, so basically, let's get back into this war. All right. So if we go over here, Saudi Arabia and Oman are going to take over Yemen. So basically, it's obvious. So yeah, pretty easy to take over a pretty underdeveloped country when you have two big underdeveloped countries and one has oil. So yeah, they take over Yemen, and it's pretty easy. Back over here, Israel decides to take over Palestine and they take over most of Palestine. In Palestine, the little remainder of it decides to try to do a peace treaty. Israel does not want that because they want a primarily Jewish country, which makes sense. Palestine launches a huge offensive, and they're able to push down into Israeli territory. Um, Back over in Europe, Czechoslovakia, Czech is continues their push into Slovakia. Good God. Um, So yeah, they're having a little push right over here, and it's going very well until they meet a little front line right here. Although this army right over here is able to make a push and splits the country in two. Um, Over into Finland. God, this map is so goddamn ugly. Um, the Finnish troops decide to start making a push over here, and they make a massive offensive over into here, and they go through here. Seeing this, the Baltic countries also decide to join in, and they start to take over Belarus, and Kaliningrad is also captured. So, Russia's in the war. I don't know if I mentioned that last time. And also Kazakhstan, they're also in here too, because screw it, they are. So as we can see here, we have the offensive. Ukraine and other countries start to hop in on attacking Russia. If I could see, that'd be nice. Yeah, here we go. So Ukraine launches a big offensive into the Caucasus and takes over a lot of their oil fields. Back over in Israel and Palestine, Israel decides to launch a very small little tactical nuke right here in Palestine and doesn't surrender, but they basically should at this point because they're pushed down to a singular little city right here, or a couple miles, I don't even know. So back in China, Japanese troops go do as much as they can, and conscription is introduced on in multiple different countries. So right here they begin the massive offensive, and they're able to push into North Korea and take it. With this with Philippine troops also helping out, they start to push into Russia, which Russia doesn't really care about, like they always do right here, because it's mainly just frozen. So yeah, they take over this area, but the real reason why they're trying to take over this area is so they can encircle this part of China. China sees what they're up to though, so they quickly launch a bit of an offensive over here, and they create a front line. So China has gained some territory, but also lost some. The Japanese also decide to take, and of course there's a train going by. The Japanese take this island, and they also make a landing right here and start invading more of Russia. Russia decides that they're gonna have to put their foot down eventually, but right now they got bigger problems to deal with. Um, Norwegian troops are starting to make their way over to Russia, which is a massive problem. So if I can get that color correct. So right here there's a big push, and they have also taken Moscow. Wow. So they have taken Moscow, and it is going very well. Russia is getting very, very scared. So they commence a lot of large bombing raids. These are not nukes; they're just bombing raids. So with their bombs, they start just putting them all over Norway. Like, not with nuclear bombs, obviously, but they send in a massive firebombing campaign over a lot of the cities that are made out of like wood and stuff, kind of like what with America did with the Japanese in World War II. Anyways, so yeah, this whole thing, it's looking pretty bad for the red team. But there is some mild success in Slovakia where they're able to push the Czech Republic back, and they're also starting an invasion of Poland. This town hates me. Wow. Although there is a small little Russian force right here, which is also starting to push back over here, and they are able to take this little part right here. God. Anyways, over in Iran, they start taking over some of the blue team, and they push into Turkey. Jesus! They start pushing over into Turkey and taking quite a bit of land until they are put to a halt and pushed back. So right here they're being pushed back, and they're basically put back to right where they started, but they still have quite a bit of territory left. Um, so Japan and Korea, they set a massive siege front line, I guess you could call it, and now they are around here. They then make their invasion through Russia at lightning speed by living off the land. Considering they're taking a lot of it from Mongolia. So then they squeeze through here, which is a very dangerous move. And China is able to wipe out this little army right here, and they also push back up here, and they wipe it out right here. So with this, they have to dig in for a siege, but not before launching a big offensive into Mongolia until Kazakhstan is also able to launch an offensive and cut them off right here. So if anything, that was a bad idea. So back in this little front, Russia is finally getting tired of this, and they start to push back. They push the Japanese out of this part of Russia right here, and they also take back some of this island. Back in America, Russia makes their very first landing in Alaska. This is going to get brutal. So yeah, they're making their little invasion into Alaska, and now here we have another fight, and here we have like one of the first times in a long time that America has fought a war on home territory. So yeah, Alaska is being pushed in, and Russia is doing pretty well at it until USA is finally able to get all their troops, and they are able to send a massive push back, and they're trying to push out Russia. They're hoping that they can get this little force right here, so they can end up splitting Alaska in two and wiping out the armies a little more easily. But when they try to do this, Russia is actually the one that's going to be doing the encircling. So they encircle this army right here, and they are able to capture it. Although this does not deter America, obviously. And they launch another offensive, and they get very, very close to splitting the country in two. And Russia is able to push a little bit back, but it's still in a very exposed position. So America makes another little push through here. Seeing this while Russia's distracted, America makes a push through here, and Russia and they're but it is a lot slower because they want to move a bigger army through, so they have a less likely chance of being encircled. They want to take this little part right here, so they can split it in two, and also take over some more coastal. Russia launches an Jesus. Russia launches an attack and is able to push back America, but America was also able to push through here with a much smaller army. So moving on from that little place, from the North America. Jesus Christ, I don't speak English. Vietnam takes over this Chinese island, and Taiwan and Hong Kong are starting to invade. And now you might be wondering, what happened to the purpose of this video? What happened? Wasn't China supposed to invade Vatican? Well, yes, they have actually been doing that, and now they just actually hit over into here. You will see what happens in the next video.